Hans Reichenbach and the Shadows of Philosophy, grappling with the dark corners of human understanding. In the grand narrative of philosophy, few thinkers have managed to shine a light on the darker corners of human understanding as poignantly as Hans Reichenbach. Known for his contributions to the philosophy of science and logical empiricism, Reichenbach's work often treads a fine line between clarity and the unsettling uncertainties that underlie human existence. If we look closely, his philosophy reveals not only a rigorous scientific mind but also a deeply contemplative soul wrestling with the limits of knowledge, the passage of time, and the ultimate questions of meaning. Let's explore the darker, more existential layers of Reichenbach's thought, engaging with it in a way that connects to the human condition. The eternal dance with uncertainty, limits of human knowledge. At the heart of Hans Reichenbach's philosophy lies a profound acknowledgement of uncertainty. This is not the uncertainty of the whimsical or the unknowable in some mystical sense, but a carefully reasoned confrontation with the limits of human cognition. Reichenbach was a pioneer in developing the logical tools and frameworks needed to understand science, yet he was acutely aware that all scientific knowledge is provisional. Imagine standing at the edge of an endless ocean, armed with nothing but a small lantern to illuminate the waters. This is how Reichenbach saw the human endeavor to understand reality. Scientific theories, for him, were like the beam of the lantern, a way to make sense of what is immediately around us, but always constrained by the horizon of our experience. In works like The Rise of Scientific Philosophy, he emphasized that our understanding of the universe is mediated by observation, inference, and probabilistic reasoning. While these tools are powerful, they are far from perfect. Science, Reichenbach argued, is not about finding eternal truths but about building models that work, until they don't. For anyone seeking ultimate certainty, this perspective can feel unsettling, even dark. It challenges our longing for permanence in a world that offers none. Reichenbach's exploration of uncertainty does not stop at science but extends into the very fabric of human experience. How do we make decisions when we cannot be certain of outcomes? How do we build lives on foundations that may shift with time and discovery? These questions resonate far beyond the scientific community, touching on personal and societal dimensions of decision-making and belief. The arrow of time, wrestling with temporal realities. Reichenbach's exploration of time stands as one of the most compelling and profound aspects of his work. In The Direction of Time, he delved into the nature of temporal asymmetry, why time seems to flow in one direction. This question is not just a scientific curiosity but also an existential quandary. Time's arrow points us unerringly toward the future, carrying with it the inevitability of decay, change, and, ultimately, death. Think about how you perceive time in your own life. Each moment passes, slipping irretrievably into the past. You can remember it, reflect on it, but you can never reclaim it. Reichenbach's scientific inquiry into the irreversibility of time, rooted in thermodynamics and entropy, illuminates this very human experience. The second law of thermodynamics tells us that systems tend toward disorder. Over cosmic timescales, this means that the universe itself is winding down, moving inexorably toward what physicists call heat death. The implications of this are profound. If all systems tend toward disorder, what does that mean for the human endeavor? For Reichenbach, it was a reminder of the fragility and transience of existence. Yet, he did not succumb to despair. Instead, he saw in this cosmic truth an invitation to live meaningfully within the constraints of time. The finite nature of life and the universe makes each moment precious, each decision weighty. Reichenbach also explored the philosophical implications of time's arrow in relation to causality. How does the flow of time influence the way we understand cause and effect? For him, the temporal order of events was a cornerstone of scientific inquiry, shaping not only how we study phenomena but also how we relate to the world on a personal level. The past is fixed, the future is open, and within this framework lies the space for human agency. Reality and its veils, the mediation of understanding. If there is one idea that runs like a dark thread through Reichenbach's philosophy, it is the mediated nature of human understanding. We do not encounter reality directly, instead, we interpret it through the lenses of perception, cognition, and scientific models. Reichenbach's realism, his belief in an external world, was tempered by the acknowledgement that we can never know this world in its pure form. Consider for a moment the nature of perception. What you see, hear, and feel is not reality itself but a representation constructed by your brain. Science, too, operates in this mediated space. Instruments extend our senses, and theories provide frameworks for interpreting data, but these tools are always one step removed from the reality they aim to describe. This mediated relationship with reality can feel isolating. If what we perceive is always filtered through the constructs of our minds, how can we trust that what we know is real? Reichenbach addressed this conundrum with a pragmatic approach. For him, the test of a scientific theory or a belief was not whether it captured some ultimate truth but whether it worked, whether it allowed us to navigate the world effectively. This pragmatism has far-reaching implications. It suggests that knowledge is not about uncovering a final, unchanging reality but about creating tools that help us cope with the complexities of existence. Yet, it also highlights the fragility of our grasp on reality. The world we live in is not the world as it is but the world as we understand it. This gap between reality and understanding is a space filled with both possibility and unease. The ethics of uncertainty, a provisional morality. Reichenbach's probabilistic approach extended beyond science into the realm of ethics. Just as he rejected the idea of immutable scientific truths, he was skeptical of absolute moral principles. For Reichenbach, ethical systems, like scientific theories, are human constructs, tools for navigating the complexities of life. This perspective can feel destabilizing. If morality is provisional, how do we find our footing in a world of shifting sands? Reichenbach's answer was both practical and hopeful. We create and revise our ethical principles based on their consequences, guided by reason and empathy. This approach doesn't offer the comforting certainty of eternal rules, but it does provide a framework for ethical growth and adaptability. Consider how this applies to your own life. Think about the moral beliefs you held a decade ago. Have they changed? If so, why? Reichenbach's philosophy invites us to see this evolution not as a failure but as a natural and necessary part of being human. In a world without absolutes, our task is to navigate the complexities of existence with humility, openness, and a commitment to learning. Furthermore, Reichenbach's probabilistic ethics challenges us to think about how we make decisions in the face of uncertainty. When outcomes are not guaranteed, how do we act responsibly? His approach encourages a balance between cautious deliberation and bold experimentation, a recognition that every choice carries risks but also opportunities for growth and understanding. Finding light in the darkness, Reichenbach's legacy. At first glance, Reichenbach's philosophy might seem bleak. It confronts us with the impermanence of knowledge, the irreversibility of time, the mediated nature of reality, and the provisionality of morality. Yet, beneath this apparent darkness lies a profound optimism. Reichenbach's work reminds us that uncertainty is not something to fear but something to embrace. It is the starting point of inquiry, creativity, and growth. By accepting the limits of our knowledge, we open ourselves to the possibility of discovery. By acknowledging the passage of time, we learn to cherish each fleeting moment. By understanding the mediated nature of reality, we gain a deeper appreciation for the tools and models that help us navigate it. And by embracing a provisional morality, we cultivate a more compassionate and adaptable ethical outlook. In this way, Reichenbach's philosophy is not just a theoretical framework but a guide for living. It encourages us to face the uncertainties of life with courage and curiosity, to find meaning not in absolutes but in the ongoing process of exploration and understanding. In the end, his philosophy is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a light that shines even in the darkest corners of existence. Reflections, living with Reichenbach's insights. So, what can we take away from Hans Reichenbach's journey through the dark and the uncertain? Perhaps it is this: life, like science, is an experiment. We hypothesize, we test, we fail, and we try again. Along the way, we encounter mysteries we cannot solve, truths we cannot prove, and questions we cannot answer. But this is not a failure of understanding, it is the essence of what it means to be human. Reichenbach's philosophy challenges us to rethink our relationship with uncertainty, to see it not as a void but as a space of possibility. It asks us to confront the passage of time not with despair but with a renewed commitment to making the most of the moments we have. And it reminds us that even in a world without absolutes, we have the power to create meaning, not by clinging to illusions of certainty but by engaging with the ever-changing reality around us. In the end, Reichenbach's philosophy is not dark in the sense of being bleak or nihilistic. It is dark in the way that the night sky is dark, a vast expanse of mystery illuminated by points of light. It invites us to look up, to wonder, and to keep exploring, no matter how uncertain the journey may be.